Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City RHAPup here on the Rob Has a Podcast Network. I am one of your hosts, Maggie Morgan, and I am back in my childhood bedroom here because I had to travel home early to escape the storm. But I am here with the one, the only, the absolutely incomparable Mr. Jacob Jones. How are you, Jacob?
Maggie, let's cheers to that because I leave tomorrow. So I'm like, fingers crossed, everything
Oh my
goes off
gosh.
without a
Yeah.
hitch. So, yeah.
Yeah, my parents, I got a panicked text on Monday morning from my dad that was like, change your flight. I'll pay for the difference. Like, change it. So I
Yeah.
came back yesterday.
I know
But
like airlines are giving out like vouchers and stuff like that. But yeah,
yesterday
I'm
I had
like,
a yesterday I had a friend who was on a Delta flight, was in his seat, and they came over the loudspeaker and they were like, "We are so sorry, but we need somebody to
no.
give up their seat. We're offering
Oh,
$2,000."
yeah.
And he said, "Why,
Yeah.
yes, I would like
Yeah.
to do that."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that you're able to make it home safely without a hitch, without a bunch of flight changes. I have
I
good vibes for
mean, but if I can get $2,000, I mean, going home for
you.
Christmas, yay! But I mean, $2,000, I would definitely take that to the bank, cash it, fax it, put it in my savings to go. But Maggie, I am ready to talk about this train wreck, travesty,
What
desperateness.
is happening?
Maggie, this is a
This
shit
is
show, a train wreck, and I don't know what the hell is happening.
this is embarrassing. Like, honestly, I feel like the only two people on this show who are worth a damn right now are
But Meg,
Heather. Like, what planet are we on right now? You know?
yeah, wait. Can you repeat that one more time? I think you froze.
Sorry. Am I back? Am I good?
Yes, you're back.
Hello? Everything okay. I'm on my parents' Wi-Fi. I feel like the only two people on this cast right now who are worth a damn are Lisa and Heather because they're the ones who get in their confessionals and they're like, "What planet are we on? Like, did I just step into a time warp? Like, what? Like when they were at that dinner, not to jump too far ahead, but when they were at that dinner and Jen was screaming at everybody and she's crying and she says, the only person that I feel solid in my relationship with right now is Angie K." And Angie was at the end of the table, like, yeah, as though Angie did not just get in the car and say that Jen was going to jail for defrauding the elderly as well as her family.
Maggie, this I'm in disbelief that these are grown women.
Yeah,
Like
it's bad.
watching episode 10, 11, and 12, I legit thought I was on acid, taking a nasty trip to a place that I don't ever want to return. Like if
Mhm.
this, and I know we're like shit talking before we get into it, but like
No,
I
it's
am
wild.
I am like, what? From Jen, get off the show.
Oh,
I'm sorry to say, even I'm sorry to say, Ha- Ha- Heather, I know I gave you your praises, your due deals last week. Get off the show. Lisa, get off the show. Whitney, get off the show. Meredith, you don't bring anything. Get off the show. Angie K, get off the show. Angie H. G? Is her name Angie H or
A-
Angie G?
Angie H.
Get off the show. Dana, get off the show.
Dana.
Recast. Dana, get off the show. Bring back Mary Cosby. We need somebody to whip these women into shape, and no one is doing it. These are women desperately trying to make TV, and it's coming across as very inauthentic, very ignorant, very easy, very floozy. These aren't real relationships. These women honestly don't give a damn. I've never seen grown women close to like or not, grown women keep referencing, are you my friend or are you not my friend? Are you my friend or are you not my friend? Are you my friend? Say you're
Get
my friend.
over
Are
it.
you not my friend? You are grown women. I've never seen a franchise, Maggie, that have strained the word friend so hard. Are you my friend? Tell me you're my friend. You're not my ride or die. Y'all are grown
It's
women with you
honestly
need to,
it's a lot of codependence that's happening between these people. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they all, like, honestly trauma bonded a little bit with, like, how big the show blew up with, like, Jen's arrest, and, like, they are all so codependent on each other. My least favorite thing about the Housewives franchise is that, like, I wish that they would just call a spade more, and they do it on other franchises, they don't do it on this franchise, which is that, like, we are not friends, we're coworkers. Like, I don't like, I hate it when they get in these horrible drop down drag out fights, and then at the end, they're like, "And that's just our crazy friend group." It's like, "No, you're being paid to be here, and some of y'all don't like each other." Like, that's just the truth of the matter. Like, I at least be like, you're not like Meredith. Like, Meredith is at least the one who's like, "Yeah, I want peace, but not if it comes at my own expense." Like, Meredith is at least, not being like, "My crazy friend group, aw shucks," you know?
It's weird. And honestly, it
Mhm.
gives me, like, loser energy from these women. It really gives me loser energy from these women because I'm just like, this is like and you see other franchises and you see I mean, because Housewives, they love to, like, make, the women like, "This is a friend group. We're focusing on this friend group." But in other franchises, you just don't hear these
Yes.
women desperately wanting to be like friends, desperately wanting approval from other people on the show. Desperately, it's like it comes across very desperate, very codependent, very toxic as the word
Yes.
circulating in episode 11 or 12. And it's just like, do y'all not have anything else going on in your life besides wondering, is Lisa Barlow my friend? Is Heather Gay my friend? Jen, are you my friend? Are you my ride or
I
die?
will say,
No, Angie H is my ride or die. No, I'm your ride. Like, get a life. Go sell Vita tequila. Go in the beauty lab. Meredith, go to law. I want to see you in a courtroom. Whitney, go on the street to sell your Whitney Rose products. Angie H and Dana and Angie K and Jen, I want to see you practicing for your court of law. All of these women do better. Episode 13, 14, 15. I bet not see it. I bet not. I bet not. Because it is a desperate attempt to make TV that isn't even good.
yes, and it's okay, the thing that, like, really what I will say, I love my favorite thing to watch on the shows are watch people be, like, so earnest about what they're doing and be
Mhm.
just, like, completely absurd and in the wrong. Like, I love to watch someone, like, be, like, really earnestly, like so it was hilarious to me on the boat when Jen was blackout drunk and all of the girls are, like, partying, and Lisa's like, Jen," like, running around, like, crying. I was like, "You look absolutely crazy right now. Like, you need to let it go. She's literally physically pushing you. Let it go. Have a shot. Say, oh, she's blackout drunk. She didn't even remember it later. Like, Lisa, let it go." But all of these women hold on to everything so deeply and just go round and round and round and rehash and rehash. And I honestly think, Jacob, the problem is that they are squeezing this trip. How many episodes is this that we've been on this trip? Five? 4, 5, and it looks like next week we're still on the freaking trip. I'm like, this should have been a 3-episode arc, this trip, because now we're squeezing it for all it's worth, and the juice is not worth the squeeze, you know?
I don't think any of these women are having, like, good sex.
Sound off in the comments. Who you
I
think out
don't
of all
think
of these
so.
women are having the best sex?
I think probably Meredith. I mean, she's, like, the one that in most of the parts for the chaos, she was kinda, like, chilling, you know what I mean? Kind of out of it
Mhm.
until she got put back into it, and the same damn drama got revolved again. I'm just
The
like,
problem is I honestly think that the problem is that these new girls are so thirsty, and the the OGs are not sure how to, like, deal with the thirstiness of them. Like, there were moments in I'm not talking about episode 12 because we'll get to episode 12 and the Heather Gay Black Eye saga because, gosh. But, Heather, like, is basically like, she's like, when when Angie or Angie K at the dinner sits down and Lisa was like so why are you bringing up my SEC document? And Heather's like, Angie, it's really in poor taste to invite everybody to dinner and
That
stir up a
gagged
bunch of
me.
drama
That
beforehand. Me
gagged me.
too.
That
Me too.
gagged
I was
me.
like, Heather, get her.
No,
Heather,
that
get
guy.
her.
But the thing is, I wasn't like, I was like, get her, get her, get her. But I was also like, Heather, please, baby girl, y'all were just like, and like, I mean, even though I didn't like that Angie K went back and was like, oh, let me go. I did like that Heather clocked it, but I wish someone would have clocked Heather in that same. But Heather also has not been the center of a lot of. I thought I heard something. I thought I heard some movement.
I heard a little something. I
You,
heard like silverware. Is somebody there?
yes, someone is here. Yes, someone is here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think that
And
there was
so,
just like some silverware.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Okay.
just coming from dinner. Um,
Okay.
gotta get back to it after this. Joking. But Heather, I'm so glad you got your shit rock. Not like black eye. I'm so glad that you were in the center of the storm. I was about to say shit rock, but I don't might mean hit.
Mhm.
But I'm so
Yeah,
glad
uh-huh.
that you were in your own shit fest, like because I have barely seen you like in the center of something and handle it beautifully. You did not handle
Mhm.
the times that you were in shit beautifully. You crumbled.
Mhm.
You didn't make a lick of sense, and
Mhm.
I lived for it. And as much my opinion for these women have changed so drastically because I just don't know what the hell is going on in season 3.
Me
Like
either. It doesn't make sense. Like
it
that's
really
the
it really
thing.
doesn't. It really doesn't. And I think we need a force multiplier in a reality sense, kind of like who Mary was. Who Mary really
Yes.
didn't. She really didn't. She anybody could get it.
Yeah.
Anybody could get
Mhm.
it. And it was a type of way where like it wasn't just like one storyline perpetuating Mary's whole career on Housewives. It was different sectors
Mhm.
and it was new and fresh constantly. And Mary says something new and fresh
Yep.
all the time. And with these women, it's just the same recycled things that we're having to rehash. And as a
Mhm.
viewer, it becomes like, okay, I thought we already beat this horse. No, y'all want to bring it back up. No, Meredith, you want to bring up the
Mhm.
FCC, FDD, FBI, CIA, telecommunication services on a $25,000 GoFundMe that Lisa Barlow wanted to sign up for whatever. And I could
Mhm.
really give two shits because as
I
talking to a
know because
person that doesn't have that much money and doesn't like you're talking, this is like rich people problems where
yes.
mundane or normal people can't understand it.
Ah,
And it's so
yes.
like, okay, girls, get a grip. Like, come on.
Yes. Yes, and it, like, really is, like, I don't understand. Now we're getting into things that, like, I can't understand. At least when we're talking about, like, Jen's business, she got indicted and there's, like, police involved and stuff, so it's you wanna piece it apart more, but, like, it sounds like everything that Lisa was doing was above board and just maybe, like, a little,
She is one.
like,
She
not as highbrow or I
It's
don't
not as highbrow.
know,
She
exactly,
probably
like,
just needed some
who
money.
cares?
They
Yeah.
yeah, Maggie. I don't know. We need to whip these women into shape though. After this,
Yes, and
after they listen to this podcast, they're gonna come with it.
I hope so. But okay, so we should probably start with episode 10 and we can just move through all of this sort of quickly because the thing is, this newest episode, I feel like had at least like a different storyline, but the other two episodes were like it didn't make sense. Like we were coming off of Angie and Jen's gigantic fight in the bus where Angie basically was like, you robbed me and my husband of the money that we spent on Sharif's birthday. Jen proceeds to get on the boat, get completely blacked out, fight with everybody, throw people's $2,000 shoes overboard. And by the end of the episode, she's fighting with Heather, and the only person in the world that she trusts is Angie K. And Angie K is like, Heather has been a bad friend to Jen, as though like she didn't just air Jen's entire life out to everybody, not 13 hours earlier. I was like, what on earth is happening here? Like, what is happening?
Maggie, did you ever get whoopings when you were little?
No.
I did. And
Okay.
different people have different opinions about whoopings.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm a, get a belt with my child. Everyone, has their own
Mhm.
parenting
Mhm.
styles. I do feel as though certain times in my childhood and in my preteens, I needed a little ass whooping.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
I think something that Janet was missing in her early life was a whooping. Because I think certain shit that she's pulled off now, I don't see it being too far off from not the illegal shit. I'm just seeing some of the friendship petty list. Da, 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 da. I'm thinking some
Mhm.
of that could have been handled over yonder when she was a little teeny bopper. You know what I mean? And she got away
She
with it.
just is I mean, she just is a textbook narcissist. Like, I mean, I don't wanna diagnose anybody, I'm not a doctor, but, like, she is so toxic. Her energy, everything about her, she went on her forgiveness tour, and she went on her, like she turtled a little bit, like, went back into her shell, was like, "Oh, poor me, poor me, poor me," when she got arrested, but, like, she is just her behavior is absolutely abysmal. Like it is just so uncalled for in every possible way. And it's just so unacceptable. And I'm really glad that, Heather and Lisa in the next episode sat her down and called her out on it. But then, it spins out of control again. And it's just she is I'm so glad that and we'll get to this when we get to tea time, but she is gone for good. I mean, not only because she's going to be going to jail for however long she's going to be going to jail, but like I'm so glad that she's about to be done.
I mean, we can blame it on the alcohol, and we sure will. But I think some of that is in her bloodstream as well.
Stream as well.
The pure like Jen Shaw is a fool. Jen Shaw is a fool. The way she acts, the way she loves to portray this victim. And Lisa Barlow clocked it as well, saying, Jen always likes to remember what you did to offend her, but she never likes to remember what she did to offend you. Oh, Lisa Barlow, I don't give you your tens that often. But with this one, baby girl, I'm gonna give you your 10. I'm gonna give you your due deals. I'm gonna give you everything that you deserve because you clocked her right. How drunk Jen was on the boat. I get it. It's a boat. This probably gonna be your last time on a boat. Oh, I don't know exactly where she's going to going away. You're on mute, Maggie. I can't hear you. What you say?
Get her, Jacob. Get her.
No, and I don't
We're
know if
having
if you
headphone
if you're gonna
issues.
if you're gonna have to go to go on a boat to get to where you about to go. I don't know, but this may be your last time on a boat. So viva la vida tequila.
Mhm.
But for you can just see the blackoutness on her face. You can
Oh my god.
slumpness. Let me throw this shoe, Jen, Jen. Let's throw your shoes because I'm
Oh.
pretty sure as much money as you owe, I don't think you would want that. And Jen, you know what I wish that would have happened? I wish that when the girls saw that shoe overboard, they knew who threw it. I wish they would have
Mhm.
put you overboard. Let's see, could you swim a little?
I think that
Since
they
you
would
want
have gone to jail.
you think it by pushing somebody in the you think they would have?
While the boat is moving, I feel like that's a federal
Well,
crime. I feel
well,
like that's
yeah,
attempted murder.
I think it'll probably be less than what Jen is gonna be serving anyways. But I don't know. They could have laughed it off like they wanted to have fun. Like remember when Jen poured that glass of champagne on homegirl? I just wanted it to be fun, Maggie. They just wanted it to be fun. Let's throw Jen in the pool. Yippee, good time, girls. Jen, you need to be controlled. You can't be out here drunk, calling people all type of bitches and hoes, throwing people's shoes in there. Because if they would have sued you, Jen, you would have been out of luck. And Jen Shaw, let me also circle back unto when Lisa Barlow tried to come and give you a hug. And I get it if you mad, just like
Mhm.
say, hey girl, I'm not for you right now. I don't want to be physically touched right now and just bag off. But all of
Mhm. Vogue it
it's
up, Jacob. Vogue
unacceptable.
it up.
Literally, it's
Mhm.
unacceptable. So we're gonna need to control that
Mhm.
Vita tequila or Casamigos or whatever it is, and we're gonna need to.
Mhm.
I thought this was a classy party, Maggie. And another thing that I did not like at this boat party, I did like that the other girls were just kind of paying Jen dust and dancing
Yep,
and
me too.
being in I did love that. Like, don't give Jen anything. But then Heather wants
Mhm.
to get Jen at the end of the boat and be like, okay, come here, I got you. And I'm just like, Heather,
I know.
y'all are
I
two
know.
grown ass women. Come on now, do better. Once you know better, you do better. And I feel like Heather, you know better. Jen, I don't feel like
I
she knows
know.
better, but she needs to do better. I would love to see Jen come out of prison. Maybe she's going to prison or she's just going away. I would love to see how her outlook on life changes, but I don't want to see it on TV. Give me a blog, Jen. Give me a vlog. Give me a
Yeah.
blog. Give me a YouTube series, but not back on this screen.
Yeah. It that was I mean, when she threw the charcuterie board overboard, I was like,
Maggie, first, Maggie, that was not a charcuterie board. That was a vegetable tray. Okay, we're not gonna call it a charcuterie board. That was a
somebody
vegetable
said that
tray.
in a confessional. But yeah, and then I mean, then they get back and she sleeps in the car for 3 hours basically.
Which that
Goes and
woman, the
plants back.
driver, was like,
I know. Like honestly, like I wonder if Jen watching this back was embarrassed. I I think that she's humiliated herself so many times on national television in so many ways. Like I but she just the thing is like this isn't new. This is who she is. Like that's the thing. Like how many times is she going to be able to say like this isn't me? Like it is who she is. I think it is. You know, like how many times does somebody have to show you their character before you believe them? She wasn't blackout drunk when she dumped the champagne on Angie. She wasn't blackout drunk when she, you know, is at the dinner denying all of the things that she did and then picking a fight with Heather. And that like I just think that she is who she is. And so then they go to dinner. They you know do some Polynesian dancing, which I thought was really fun, and they had this Polynesian feast and everybody looked super fun. They sit down at dinner and like basically people are trying to rehash the events of the day, and Jen gets defensive and is like, I didn't even do that. And Lisa is real upset because Jen pushed her and said that she wasn't her friend, and you know Lisa's feelings for her, which I oh Lisa, it's a conversation for another time. But then it all sort of like she just everything you know goes off the rails, and then her and Heather start fighting, and she's like, "I the only person I trust is Angie K." And I still, for the life of me, like that baffles me. And Angie K was like, "Mm, yeah, I can't, Jacob. Give your take on that. I because I've ugh.
yeah, it was a hotmess.com. And it started with a hot mess by having the new girl, was her name
Angie
Dana?
or Dana.
Dana introduced the beef
Uh-huh.
saying, I feel like it's tension and I feel like we need to call it out. And I'm like, homegirl, first off, the tension really doesn't have anything to do with you. And I get you just trying and I would say this was probably a producer nudge because I
Yeah.
remember Atlanta producer once told a story saying the Atlanta women were all out filming a scene and like no one was talking like they were like talking but nothing was popping off. And they were like, hey,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a job at the end of this, but y'all probably will not have a job at the end of this season. So y'all need to like
Mhm.
make something pop in this in this moment right now, or like it's just gonna be a boring ass season. And so
Mhm.
like they kind of do that little nudge. So I was like, I couldn't be that mad at her for start popping it off, but I didn't like how kind of the newbies just kind of gun blazed at Heather. I thought that was very annoying. And I don't understand where that beef comes from, was at. I was very confused at that. I was like, why are y'all just kind of pointing everything at Heather? And it was just very confusing. And I never seen Heather in the line of fire like that. And she completely, I think, like folded and really didn't know what to do in that moment.
Yeah, and also I think, like, undeservedly so. Like, they're poking at these little things
Yeah.
that, like, I just think that Heather is the person this season that everybody has decided that they're gonna poke at because she's over it, like, she's not putting up with as much bullshit as she has in the past. But, yeah, so I'm sure that she was like, "What the heck? Why is everybody coming at me?" And then for the next day, so then the episode ends, and then the next day, like, her and Lisa, I I was like, "Thank God for this scene." Like, this is the sequence that I'm like, "Okay, the 2 people who actually are our audience who sit down with each other in the morning, barefaced, and they're like, what is happening? Like, what is going on here? Everybody has lost their damn minds. This is not okay with me. Is this okay with you? No, this isn't okay with me. We don't like each other, but let's put these differences aside to get this show back on the road, to get this show back on track. Like, I feel like they were like, okay, these storylines are so confusing and make no sense. Like, we got to talk to Jen. Like, we got to figure this out. And I really, really appreciated that. Then they do their whole thing at the beach, yada, yada, filler, filler. And then they go to the lunch. And I felt like the lunch was the most real conversation that any of these women have had with one another all season. Like, I felt like, and not real as in like, this is so truthful, whatever. Like, I think all of the emotion at that lunch was 100% real. I think that Heather and Lisa begrudgingly sitting there and being like, "I hate you, but, like, we have to do this together." Going to Jen and being like, "What this is a cyclical toxic relationship. Like, this is not fair to us. Like, we have been good friends to you and you keep throwing it back in our face." And then Jen, spinning out. I want to give a trigger warning here. We should have given it at the top of the episode. I want to give a trigger warning for suicide and suicidal ideation. But then Jen, you know, f- feeling backed into a corner and then revealing this thing about herself that she had been through, like saying that she had attempted to take her own life over, this Angie Harrington page. And then the two girls ended up comforting her. Like, I felt like I was watching, like, even if the cameras weren't there, I felt like that's what would have happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and I think, and this is like such a touchy subject to
Uh-huh.
even, but I feel like you could not see it in any other way other than like I do I I think Jen felt back into a corner and she wants to be like, well, guys,
Mhm.
understand where I'm coming from. Like this just happened,
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z. And like my heart went out to her when she confessed that.
Mhm.
But I did not want it to also take away from
Yep.
the honesty that Lisa and Heather were saying to
Mhm.
Jen to take accountability for. And
Mhm.
I want to give Jen something to believe that she just didn't say that to kind of escape accountability and be like, okay,
Mhm.
like I'm hurting. Come
Mhm.
comfort me. I don't need y'all to keep
Mhm.
badgering me about this. I don't need y'all to paint me as this toxic person or this hurtful
Mhm.
person or all these things. Like help me, comfort me. And it was hard to watch. It was
Yeah.
hard to watch in that regard
Yeah.
because in one term, a very sensitive and important and factor that Jen you just revealed, but you
Mhm.
revealed it on the cusp of you feeling attacked by people wanting to
Mhm.
hold you accountable. And
Mhm.
they kind of lightly touched on it
Yes, they
in the
did.
confessionals, both
They
of them
did.
did,
Mhm.
and I didn't know if they would because
Me
when
either.
Jen revealed that, you could see in their face that they were like, "Okay." You know what I
Yep.
mean? And so it was just this kind of
Lisa
conflicting
tried,
thought in
but they
mind.
both tried too in the
Yeah.
moment. You know, Lisa was like,
Yeah.
"Jen, I am so sorry. I had no idea you were
Mhm.
going through that. That isn't what we're talking about right now.
Mhm.
And I would like to talk to you about that and help you through that, but that isn't what we're talking about." And Heather did the same thing. And then, you know, Jen removed herself from the situation because she got overwhelmed. And when she came back, they all sort of decided, you know what, let's table this. Because Jen was incredibly emotional, as you know, one would be when they reveal something like that. And then we got this sequences of them comforting her in the bus. And like I said, well, I thought that the way that you broke that down, Jacob, was incredibly eloquent and sensitive. And I'm glad that
Mhm.
you did that, because I
Mhm.
was like, I don't know how
Yeah.
you said what I was feeling, but in a very succinct way. But I felt like this scene was by far, it wasn't my favorite at all. You know, it
Mhm.
was so heavy, but it was by far, I thought, the most real. Like I said, I feel like that would have happened without cameras there between those three women. And like that's why this this franchise has been successful, as successful as it has been for 3 seasons, is that these three women are like the center three women, and they were just really real, and real about everything. Like Jen's reaction was real. That's the way that she expressed the way that she was feeling in that moment. Heather and Lisa's reaction was real. And you know, I one thing that, you know, with all of that conversation, and then for them to go and sit at this Maryland dinner, and for Whitney to ask one single question and be like, "What did you guys talk about?" And for Jen to be
That
like,
made me
"Oh,
upset.
well, oh, it was," and Whitney is annoying and so lame, and we'll get to that. But like
Yes.
the fact that Whitney literally was like, "Well, what did you, was it just you and Heather talked, or was it you, Heather, and Lisa?" And Jen was like, well, if you must know, I told them that I tried to commit suicide. So, and Whitney was like, "Oh my God," like, you know, I just thought it was so unfair and not
It
at all. Yeah.
it was and it just came off the cusp of a very light moment, and I
Yes.
feel as though, like, Jen was like, "I wanna hear shitting went," not shitting, oh my goodness, surfing went. I was thinking of sharks. I don't know what was going through my mind just now.
Freudian slip.
Um,
Jacob's got something on his mind, you
literally,
guys.
literally the restroom.
Uh-huh.
Jen was like, "I want to hear how shark, what is it called? Surfing. I want to hear how surfing
Surfing.
went." And then the ladies, and then when he was like, "Well, I want to hear like in marriage," was like, "Well, y'all went, to go eat without us, had us starving. What happened?" And then Whitney was like, "So did y'all like talk? Was it just y'all two?" And then she was like, "Well, I don't." Jen was like, "Well, I don't want to repeat it. It's very personal, blah blah blah."
Mm.
And Jen's like, "Oh, like," and I think she says, "Was it just like y'all two, or was it all three of y'all?" And
Uh-huh.
then Jen, "Well, since you want to be nosy, since you like," and she kept
Yes.
saying, like, "Since you want to really know so bad, since you want to really know," and she looked at Whitney with a type of vindictive look, as like,
Yes.
"Well, I told them," and and it gave me the same sentiment of when it was revealed at the dinner. I mean, at the lunch with them three, because I felt as though like this whole trip has not been great for Jen.
Mhm.
And I felt as though, as sensitive and as intimate and as personal as, and as her like testimony is, as her life and the struggles that she's, been going through is, I felt as though she like wanted to get it out regardless. And I feel like it was going to
Mhm.
come out regardless, because Whitney asked a simple question, then Jen, I feel like she wanted to have the approach of offended, and you want to know Whitney asked, and it could be edited down. Whitney could have asked
Mhm.
4 gajillion times, but I just don't think so based off of Whitney's reaction and based off of her
Mhm.
initial approach and gesture and tone to the question. I felt
Mhm.
as though Jen wanted to take offense to it, but wanted it to come out because I think,
It was I felt as though when Jen said it, Jen was saying it as, and you know, I don't know if, I am not saying that this is the way it came off to me
mhm,
as a viewer. that she was using that as sort of like a trump card, you know, and as a way to be like, stop, leave me alone, and that is just something that is so, like you said earlier, so personal and such a sensitive topic, that to use it as sort of a way to like sort of put someone in their place is just not
Mhm.
fair at all. Mhm.
Yeah. And kind of Tyler, yes,
Yes.
I think a
Mhm.
lot of like had to do with just like Jan wanting to control how people come at her, and throwing something as, you know, as sensitive as that is, it will definitely
Mhm.
shape how different people come at you kind of the remainder of the night.
Yes.
And I just did not like to see that used in that moment with such annoyance at Whitney, and such like, well, since you want to really be nosy right now, I'm gonna tell you. I just didn't
Mhm.
like that to be used. And I feel as though that moment, and this is Jen's own life, and this is her own testimony. And I just wish that moment was, if that moment was shared with us, was shared in a much more delicate manner than kind of
Absolutely.
in the
And
way that, we have seen it thrown out there.
yeah, and you referenced the comment that Tyler made, and I wanted to read it because I think that
Mm,
he put it so succinctly. Jen's story is valid and deserves grace, but she's definitely being emotionally manipulative with that information in both examples. And
yeah.
I would agree. As the viewer, that is the way that I felt as well.
Mhm.
That she was using that story to manipulate the people around her because of her
And
behavior.
yeah, and I wish that, I mean, and this is, and I want to give also like the women grace in this, because as much as I would love
Mhm.
to like hear their organic and natural thoughts to this is a very
Uh-huh.
sensitive subject where I don't feel like they would even want to express that, because it's
Yep.
kind of like, it's dealing with such a sensitive subject,
Absolutely.
as and so it's kind of like, how can we, but like as a viewer watching it, and in both examples it's kind of giving off the same exact thing. So it was definitely very
Mhm.
frustrating to see a
Mhm.
person that we want to be held accountable for their actions, to kind of like constantly get swept under the rug, because they're going through their legal battles, they're going through
Mhm.
all these different situations. And I feel like a lot of grace has been allocated to Jen,
Mhm.
but
I
at
feel like
some point
Jen
you do
has
have to take
collected
account.
all of the grace
Oh,
that
no,
these women
definitely.
have to give.
She has sucked the grace out of them. She has literally like, "Come here, you and John Barlow, come here, and I'm gonna suck all everything out of y'all."
For some tickets.
For some tickets, for some jazz tickets for her and Coach Shaw. And oh, Maggie.
I wanna move away from this, if that's okay,
Yeah,
if you're all good.
yeah.
And I wanna talk about this Whitney Heather bad weather fight, because Whitney, she can't, the Whitney Heather fight makes so little sense that Heather is like, "This makes no sense. Whitney, explain it to me." And she's like, "I have." And you're like, "We don't get it. What? What?"
Yeah,
A writer,
bad
Whitney
weather.
Rose is not. She's not a
Yeah, no,
writer.
absolutely not. Yeah, bad weather, no weather, sunshine, rain, they're no more. And I'm happy about it. I feel like together, I did not like either of them, at least separate. I prefer Whitney. I mean, oh, nope, 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 nope. I
Heather,
prefer Heather.
obviously, yeah.
I prefer
Uh-huh.
Heather. Um, but I was kind of getting annoyed with Heather in this moment a little bit,
Well,
because what?
no, finish your thought.
I was kind of getting annoyed with Heather because I felt as though she was annoyed,
Mhm.
and in a sense, I kind of could see what Whitney was talking about when she was like, "Well, Heather always like does this and this and this." I would not be doing this at a table. Like if I was Whitney getting annoyed, you know what I mean? When she went into that little like thing,
Mhm.
got up from the table. But I was like, y'all, like, Whitney, I mean, Heather, just kind of like, listen, you're being too defensive, even though you're
Yeah.
like, this shit is so stupid. You've been friends and cousins with this girl for how long? So you know stupidity. You've been friends with stupidity. You've been friends with foolishness. You've been friends with childishness.
What
Don't act like this is something Casper the Ghost done flew in and fired on. Okay? You know how to approach the situation.
what I will say is that, when Mary was talking down to Whitney and was calling her little girl, and then Meredith is in her confessional saying little girl,
Little and then that laugh.
and even Heather is at the table talking to her like she is a teenage girl. I was
Little
like,
girl.
maybe it's Whitney. Maybe it is. Like, and I think that Heather was being too defensive, definitely.
Mhm.
But I still think that Heather, like, doesn't get it and isn't taking Whitney seriously because she thinks that it's all bullshit and contrived. Like, I think that Heather is like, shut up. Like, I know you're doing this for a storyline. This is so stupid. Like, I think that she's just over it because this is my take at least, is that Heather is like, I'm not doing this with you because I thought we were better than this. And if you're going to play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes from me, you know?
I hear that, but also Maggie, sometimes in my mind, sometimes my friends are being illogical. Sometimes my
Hmm.
friends are being stupid. Sometimes an issue in their mind, I'm like, I didn't even think of this. Like, what are you talking about? But you have to meet them in their emotional, vulnerable state that they're in and be like, all right, I'm listening. I'm here for you. I understand. Even if it's the wildest thing, like, okay, I can see how you can think this way. Or I can see, I feel like Whitney wanted no parts in it. And I think that was not helping the relationship. I think it was only hurting. And I
Yeah.
do think that Whitney was trying to get somewhere, but I don't think. And Tyler said like, "Oh, Whitney did not articulate herself well," but Heather did feel kind of domineering and wouldn't give Whitney a little extra time to explain herself clearly. And I definitely agree with that. And that's when I was like, Heather, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to keep like. And not saying she was interrupting, but she was like, "Okay, well, tell me what is it? You don't. I thought we already went over this. Like, if someone is telling you, say me and you are like in a like not in an argument, but in a combative state. And you're like, I thought we already talked about this, Jacob. Like, what are you doing? It's gonna make me shut down and not want to talk to you because obviously you don't
Hmm.
even seem open to being receptive to what I'm about to tell you. And I just wish Whitney was more. I mean, Heather was more susceptive to what Whitney was crying about, moaning about, exhausting about.
I, I think though, like, but I think for Heather, it's like, what we're best friends. Like, and now I
But
find
Maggie,
out you're
they haven't
talking
been
mad
best.
shit about me behind my back.
Maggie, but they haven't been best friends in a couple of weeks. Homegirl, hold on. When they went to the trip, Heather pushed her and Whitney went to the blinds. At her house, Heather kicked Whitney out of her house. They haven't been kitty cat sisters in a minute.
But I think that for Heather, like, I my best friend, like Heather and Whitney were real best friends, like
Uh-huh.
truly. And I'm thinking of my best friend. I sometimes go a couple weeks without talking to her, or like we talk here and there, or some weeks we talk on the phone all the time, some weeks we don't. Like, I genuinely think that Heather, like, didn't realize that Whitney was this upset. And also on top of that, then found out she was talking like mad shit about her to everybody and was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I think that and I think that she's like not taking it seriously because she thinks that and I think maybe that's the core of it, is that what you're seeing is Heather not taking Whitney seriously. And we
Hmm.
can only sort of speculate right now on why she's not taking her seriously. Whether it's what Whitney thinks is that she looks down on her, she doesn't respect her, whether it's, that she genuinely doesn't know and is confused and was too drunk and didn't want to deal with it, or it's that she thinks that it's all fake bullshit contrived for the television show, and I think, but I do think that like what Heather said at BravoCon, and like other things that Heather has said sort of point to the direction that like Heather thinks is all bullshit contrived for a storyline. So of course she's not going to entertain it on the show, and she's going to shut her down. In my head, that's the way I'm seeing it, at least.
Yeah, I can see even that best friend analogy, but Maggie also, like me and my best friend, I'm gonna go see him in Nashville. We don't like talk every day. Like some weeks we don't even speak. Some weeks we speak all the time,
Is
stuff
he the
like
one
that.
that I met?
But
Did I meet him?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. You met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna spend New Year's in Nashville. He just moved to Nashville.
Oh,
I know.
fine.
I'm gonna go see him. But like it's but also like y'all just don't speak, but y'all also don't haven't got into an argument where y'all haven't got closure over that argument. And they have had
Yeah.
arguments in those different times and not had
Mhm.
closure. Like Heather is just like, oh, let me kick you out. But hey girl, you wanna come to my choir rehearsal thing? Oh, okay, yeah, I will. And so it's still like this weird situation is looming. And I think Heather is the type of person where she has said, let's sweep it under the rug, let's get over it, let's move on. I love you, you love me, we're good. But
Mhm.
Winnie is like, no, I want to like talk about, and like having a person that wants to talk about every little thing can be very draining and very
Mhm.
exhausting. But it's also a part of, this girl, like what she's on,
Mhm.
and I think a little bit of it as well is I think Heather knows, and Heather has said that Whitney is like so far up Lisa Barlow's hoo-ha or ass.
Mhm.
And so I think that's also annoying her. And she's like, girl, go, you've been influenced by the bad Barry. You've been influenced by the
Uh-huh.
bad Barlow. I'm not effing with it.
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah. So, okay, so Bad Weather has their moment. And then that brings us to the drunken fun night, which honestly, like, was making me laugh. Like, there was the
I
moment when,
loved it.
me
Jen
too,
and Heather rub their boobies together.
when it was like Lisa was in the kitchen and she turned around and Jen was just like half naked with her boobs out against the window. And she was like, I was like, I actually cackled with her wig on still. I was cackling. I was like, this is actually hilarious.
No, yeah.
But so they're up until 5 a.m. together. And then Heather gets this black eye.
Massive black eye.
So this is what I want to break down with you. I've been detectiving the case.
Okay.
When she woke up in the morning
Mhm.
and called Jen, and her and Jen had the conversation first. And Jen says, "What's our cover story? Like, what's our cover story for your black eye?"
Mhm.
And then they are coming up with stuff, and then Jen goes, "Oh yeah, because like we don't know what happened, so we need a cover story."
Mhm.
Now, Jen, you had a face in the car when you got the phone call. I remember the face in the car. And I think I saw that face a
Oh,
couple of
not the
times
face.
when the camera panned to you, when all of them were like, "How did
I
you get
think I
that black
did. Wait,
eye?"
that's a
And
good
she
one.
was
I think
like,
I did too.
"What? Yeah, how did you get the black eye?"
Homie was silent.
And I'm not saying they got in a fist, like they got angry at each other and punched each other, but I'm
Mhm.
just saying Jen and Heather were definitely together when Heather got that black eye. And I truly like I don't believe that it's that Jen got mad and punched Heather in the face. Like I don't think that, but I definitely think that like they did something embarrassing. Maybe they were doing something they shouldn't have. Maybe, she hit her head. Maybe Jen like they were laughing and wrestling, like I don't know what was going on. But the way that they were talking about how they needed a cover story, and then, 2 minutes later, we're like, oh, it's so that because we don't know what happened. We need a way to explain it because we were so drunk.
Maggie, you know what I thought?
Hmm.
That's a good one though. That's a good one. I thought
Okay, what
initially,
did you think?
I was like, I don't see no one in here really, decking some people in the face. I was thinking, oh, maybe for fun, kind of what Lisa Barlow said. Like, oh, I think Jen said it. I think maybe Heather found a little daddy with a big slong. in San Diego, and the thing, when like you like with a guy or whatever, and then they, oh, like they just like, you know what I mean?
All right. Yep. Okay.
And
Good
so,
visual.
maybe
Mhm.
maybe a maybe a BBC got in the way and dink. Oh my goodness.
But why would Heather say, like, in a group setting with everybody there, like, I think we know what happened, but we're not wanting to share.
Heather was being an attention in that moment. Kept
So
taking
so
glasses
weird.
on, no glasses off, glasses on, no
Uh-huh.
glasses off, glasses on. I think she had too much fun. A man tapped that on her eye. You know when men do that. You know men are
No.
nasty. Men like play around, they swing it everywhere, and then like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
No, stop it, Jacob. You have to stop.
I don't know, man.
Sound off in the
Maybe.
comments. Whose
You know what
theory
I
do you
mean? It
agree
had to.
with?
It had to be. It had to be. It had to be some
Something.
knocking. Some knocking.
Okay. Well, basically the rest of the episode we sort of already went over. I hated the rest of the episode. I thought it was boring as heck. It was basically Heather being like, I don't know how I got this black eye. And all the women being like, how did Heather get the black eye? And then Lisa's SEC document. And I don't want to talk about that anymore. That's boring.
I don't want to talk about Heather. I mean, with Lisa's FCC FDA document, Meredith. I don't know why you brought it up. Like y'all's issue is dead and gone. Y'all were being pleasant on the trip together, and y'all want to start
Uh-huh.
back y'all's annoying ass argument from the first couple of episodes in last season. I'm over it. Meredith, do better because I know you can do better, and I expect
Mm-hmm.
more from you.
Yep. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we get into tea time? And we've got a lot for you guys for tea time because they filmed the reunion.
Yeah, which I was very surprised because did you see what Jen, she like released like a
Yeah, well,
statement
that's for tea
saying,
time.
oh,
That's for
okay,
tea
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I have it pulled up. Mhm.
But the new women on the show,
Mhm.
I don't think that they should bring y'all back, even though I think they probably will. I think Salt Lake City needs a revamp for season 4, if there is going to
Mhm.
be a season 4. Um, because I just don't think that the same consistent, stagnant storylines can
Mhm.
keep running. We've seen Heather and Lisa be for so long. We've seen Whitney and Heather be good. Now we've seen them not be good.
Mhm.
We've seen Heather and Lisa. I mean, we've seen Meredith and Lisa beefing and friends. And so it's just kind of like we need a different direction. So I'm hopeful that
I
these upcoming episodes will deliver
Uh-huh.
something new. And I also don't get the newbies hard on with seeking justice. I don't think we
Yeah,
need a
I
Captain Save-A-Ho in this group. I think all the women can
Mhm.
fight, fend, and defend for themselves.
Mhm.
And it gets kind of like, and I hate because like, hey, you're on this show, interact with women as you please, but it gives very much like, like kind of like know your role as a friend of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kind of, but I hate saying that, but yeah.
Well, no, but you wanna know who I think has been bringing it for the past 2 seasons in her role
You
as a
best
friend of Angie
Angie
H.
H.
Where is she? Where was she
Also,
on the
wait.
trip?
Also, I do want to say that if the reason that because when her husband made that fake Instagram account, Shah exposed, and then Jen was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I need y'all to make a public statement." And then these recent episodes, we learned that they did not make that public statement because they
Mhm.
talked to their publicists, and their publicists were like, "No, we don't want y'all having anything to do with Jen Shah or anything like that." I think that's
Mhm.
complete bullshit. I think these people are the most attention-seeking people that I've ever seen on this show. Y'all are on a show where the star of the show is Jen Shah, but your publicist doesn't want you associated with Jen Shah. But you make a fake Instagram account saying on national television on
Mhm.
national television. Maggie, I remember I said this. You could not pay me enough to admit that I
Yeah.
made a fake Instagram account to bully some women that my wife is friends of,
Mhm.
or my man,
Yeah.
equal opportunity lover over here.
Mhm.
But you just couldn't. And the fact that y'all won't make an Instagram post, but y'all will get on national television where it will be seen by more people,
Yeah,
and
I
that your
mean,
publicist
we're
is allegedly telling you, no, we don't want you, but you're on a show that she is a star of. Angie H, get a life, and your husband, do better, grow up, go mow the lawn. Our men don't want to work nowadays. They don't want to be out there in the grass. Men, let's go back outside, let's go to work. Go mow the grass. Go get the
and
mail. Go take the trash out, man. Don't delete Instagram. What's her husband's name? Kent? No. Daryl?
I don't
Don?
know.
Dan? Mr.
All I
H.
remember is what Jen called him, which I'm not going to repeat.
What was it?
Her elf on the shelf husband.
Oh, which was a read like a mother. I was gagged. Mr. H, go to work. Let's not
Mhm.
play with the ladies, okay?
Mhm.
Let's not. Next time I see you, I want to see you in a suit and I want to see you in an office. Okay, I don't want to see you making fake Instagram accounts. Go mow the lawn. Go take the trash out. Okay, go play baseball with your son. When you know better, you do better. And I'm telling you, we see each other.
And on that note, do you want to begin tea time?
Yes, Maggie, I was drinking some rosé and some water, but I'm out of both.
Oh, well, I have like some now a little bit of Dr. Pepper in here. So I'll
Okay,
try
so
to do it
fill
for
it.
both of us.
Okay, yes.
This is so watered down and gross. Anyways, so tea time. They filmed the reunion. So Jacob and I reported to you guys on tea time a couple of weeks ago that Jen was not invited to BravoCon and she was not on the panel, that she crashed like the after parties, but Andy basically said, once she pled guilty, there was nothing they could do, and she was done. So they filmed the reunion and Jen makes this statement, and I'm going to read it, okay? So she says, on September 14th, 2022, I was informed by Bravo executives that I was not invited to attend the season 3 reunion. I was disappointed because I would have no venue to confront inaccuracies and address my storyline with cast members. Out of nowhere, on November 29th, 2.5 weeks ago, I was invited to attend. I was elated to learn I would now have a voice at the reunion. I I was clear with Bravo that out of respect for the courts and a standing judicial order, I would not be in a position to discuss anything related to my legal case and sentencing. Bravo found this unsatisfactory and said they expected to discuss this storyline. That expectation has no regard for me or my family's well being. So, under legal advice, I will not be attending the reunion. I need to focus on the most important thing in my life, my family. Thoughts?
If I was Bravo, I would disinvite your ass too after you say you're not going to talk about the most poignant thing that we brung your ass back for in season 3. And Jen, if you want to do the best thing that you could do for your legal case, for the legal proceeding, I would not go throwing people's shoes, $1,000 shoes off of X, Y, and Z. I would not be acting an ass on national television. So, Jen, you have a lot of things that you did not do well for your legal proceedings, and your legal counsel should have been on that ass way before now. And now they want to be. You could have wore that little dress, answered some simple questions, saying, yes, I pleaded guilty, and yes, cling, clang, bang, bang, chitty, chitty, boom, boom is going down. But I wouldn't have, if you ain't going to talk about that, you
Yeah.
have no really
Yep.
purpose.
Well, then why are you bringing it up every 4 seconds on the season to explain your bad behavior? You do something terrible and you're like, I'm just so stressed with the trial. But okay, but then you don't want to discuss it once you've admitted guilt?
Wait, you heard
It's
what Lala
because
said in the chat?
what? Oh, Lala says that she heard a theory that Jen couldn't go to the reunion because maybe she did give Heather the black eye.
Are Heather and Jen good?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that they were hanging out at BravoCon.
Let me see if
Um,
they follow each other on Instagram.
uh, okay. Also, somebody commented on our last video when we were talking about Angie K and the money for Sharif's birthday party. And
Hmm.
they said that there's a theory that Bravo told Angie K that they would pay the expenses for the party, and but then they didn't promote her to full-time housewife, so they wouldn't pay the expenses because she's just a friend of, and that's why she
Mm.
was upset. And so that's like why she was upset with Jen, which
Yeah,
also
baby.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have promoted you either, Angie K.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, they also Jen still follows Heather
Does Heather follow
on her
Jen?
Instagram. Let me see. Let me type in Jen. Jen. Uh, Oh, yes, she does. Yeah.
Well,
So I
okay,
don't
so
know.
we also got the reunion dresses, okay?
Yes.
We are going to um go through the reunion dresses. If you look up, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 3 reunion dresses, there is a whole article about it on Bravo. And I don't know what the theme was.
I don't
Like
either.
they draped themselves in shades of gold, burnt orange, and peach.
Is
They're
that jewel
warm
tones or
tones.
no? Oh, warm
No,
tones?
warm tones. Because last
Okay.
season was jewel tones.
Okay, I
So
got
the
you. Got you.
first one here is Lisa Barlow. And Lisa is in a Gucci dress. And her hair is much darker than it usually is. Like her hair is black.
Is
She's
it?
got she's got a fake tan going on here. And honestly, like she's had 2 kids. She apparently eats Taco Bell every day. Her body is banging. I think she looks great.
She has a
Maybe it's
good
not like your
body.
style. She looks
I
great.
think this is very boring. I don't think this is a reunion. Like this is a Lisa Barlow going to go film an
Le-
episode. I think this is like
Lisa is
this isn't
always
a
boring though with her style. Remember last
I just
season
need
when
I
I was
need
like,
it.
she always wears her hair the exact same way.
You're right. You're right. Now
Hmm.
she has a yeah, I wish we could get some different. I wish we could get something different with her. She
Yeah.
looks cute. She looks good, but it's not a
Hmm.
standout. You know what I mean? If we're
Yeah.
doing that
Oh,
like Abby Lee
definitely.
Miller sound on TikTok, and in last place, you just didn't stand out. Like
Uh
Lisa
huh.
Barlow, you can skate on a C, but like
Hmm.
you're not Maggie also do this.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm looking at the pictures. I'm not looking at myself. Okay.
And
Um.
then
Yes. So next we have Heather. What are your thoughts on Heather?
I don't the shoes and
So
the
much better than
dress.
last season.
Oh, of course. First off, all these women look better
Mm,
than last season. I do have to say.
mhm,
I
mhm,
like the dress. I wish it
mhm.
was pulled in a little bit more on the waist to have like a snatch look.
Uh-huh.
And I like the drapiness and I like the sleeve. And so it's
Mhm.
cute, but I just don't like the shoes with the dress.
Yeah. I think that also, like, I know that it was probably like meant to be a little longer and like drapier on the bottom, but like I thought that they could have brought it up a little bit on the left side. And she
Mm,
definitely looks better than last season. I think that the styling overall is better. Like I don't like the shoes either, but like it's not giving Mother of the Bride the way it was last season. So like huge, huge step up. Good job, Heather.
yeah, step up,
We're,
step up,
we're
step
yeah,
up.
we're doing good. Okay, so Meredith Marks.
Best dressed of the reunion, and I think she looks sexy, fierce,
Uh-huh.
face beat. I don't care what she had done to it. Mama looks stunning, sitting, makeup sitting, middle part down, bad bust down, dress, taper, snatch waist, legs showing a little. Homeworld is
In
taking it.
in this photo, I don't know in real life. I don't know unedited. In this photo, she looks about 32 years old.
Mama does. Mama
So,
does.
and I mean, I would give anything to look like this photo when I was 33 years old.
Maggie's trying to read, y'all. Maggie's trying to
I'm not.
read.
She looks amazing in this photo. She does. I mean, she looks like a Victoria's Secret model in this photo. She looks so good.
She does. And I feel like in person, maybe it doesn't give it, doesn't give it to that magnitude, but the body, the dress, the hair, the makeup, perfect.
Yeah.
Is a top contender. I would say my top 2 for best dress, and I would give her my number 1 spot because I
Yeah.
really don't care for the other one that I'm about to say is top.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
next is who's my worst dress here.
Oh, absolutely. Throw it
Is Whitney
away.
Rose.
Trash can. I expected more. I expected better. I expected.
What? Like the zipper looks like she's wearing
Yeah.
a crossbody bag.
Yeah.
Also,
Mm-mm.
the zipper like goes all the way around the neckline. Like it is not, and it's black with this peach. Like it's
Yeah.
giving like prom in 2008.
Yeah. It's not hot. It's not hot at all. It is. It is. It's not tea.
No,
Yeah.
no,
At
it's
all.
not.
Mm-mm.
Angie K is next.
Top contender for best dress. Stunning.
Yeah.
Dress down, face down, hair's perfection. The dress, it looks
Mhm.
expensive and rich. Angie K, you look like the richest person on this set.
Yeah, the corset is gorgeous. I think that she looks great.
Gorgeous.
It is a true reunion look. Like she looks like
Like,
she's dressed to the nines. Yeah.
that is a true reunion look.
Mhm. And then Dana, which I love this. I love it.
Really?
I do. I think that it's so beautiful. I think that her body looks amazing and she's got this cape. I think that she looks beautiful. I do.
I feel like you can't really even see the body because there's so much fabric. I would like it more if it wasn't that much fabric. And it
Mhm.
was I like it from the corset up
She looks
without
sort of
the
like a
cape.
warrior,
I
like
know,
her
but
hair is pulled back and
and I just feel like you're gonna be sitting with this outfit on, and I feel like this outfit sitting is just gonna eat you up. It's just so
yeah.
much fat, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't
I
know.
really do
Not the
love it
biggest
though.
fan.
I hope it looks better in person. I hope that
Mm,
yeah, we'll
let's
see.
pray.
And then Angie Harrington, who didn't even get
Oh, she
Bravo
can
Insider standing photo.
yeah, she can go. She that dress like, she does not look good. I mean, I guess she looks okay, but it's like it looks like something that she just had at home and was like bought out for like, oh, I have to go film this, babe. What should I wear, husband who creates Instagram to
Mhm.
bully the coworkers? Oh, here, wear this dress. That's what it's
She
giving.
is beautiful though. Like look at her skin.
Oh, I mean,
She
babe,
is
her face is like
she's
sitting happily.
she's just drop dead gorgeous.
Like
Like
it's like she's
she's
there.
she's stunning.
Like
Absolutely stunning.
stunning. Like stunning.
Uh-huh. She looks kind of scary that close, but she's
And
absolutely
this is Dana, everyone. And then I'm gonna show
beautiful.
y'all who I think is best dressed. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Told you in that photo, she looks
Maggie,
just
mama is
amazing.
giving young, rich, and a husband is coming into town to
Mhm.
do a deal.
Okay, is there anything else, like tea-wise that we need to get into? I feel like we've wrapped up, this mess of these 3 episodes pretty well here.
I don't think any of these women are real friends.
Yeah.
I And it's frustrating because they don't have to be, but I feel like they're forcing it down our
Mhm.
throats and it's annoying. I don't
Which
want to
is
hear the
so
word
annoying. Agreed.
like if y'all just like exist with each other, like y'all don't have to keep like Lisa when you were on the boat saying, "I'm your friend. Say you're my friend." It just came across as very desperate, and I know Lisa Barlow isn't desperate, but it just came across as like y'all are like 40-year-old women saying like, "Say you're
Mhm.
my friend." Girl,
Mhm.
go and do what you do to get Vita tequila on the shelf. Like it gave very that, you know what I mean? And so I
Uh-huh.
just like Also, Meredith had to make up for the feather suit from last year. Yeah, and she did. I just want to say she did. She made up for it greatly.
Lala says that Angie has an evil eye on the side of her dress. What? Is that real
Wait.
or are you just being funny? Is it not in that picture? Let me look her up on Instagram.
Oh, right here.
I don't see it.
You see what I'm look at me.
Oh, Angie
Angie K.
K. Angie K. I thought you meant Angie H. I was like, whoa, that would be so wild.
No, not Angie H.
Got
Angie
it.
K. But Angie K looks like this is how a reunion should be done. Like this is literally how a reunion should be done.
Yeah, she looks beautiful.
I hope that the ladies get a stern talking to after this trip, and we get something more exciting from episode 13 and 14. And
so, Jacob, where can people find you if they want to keep up with what's going on? Because we're not going to be back until the
yes,
new year, guys.
I know it's just so wild. People can find me everywhere at Jacob J underscore Jones. Or again on Mondays, which I'm not going to be live with him. I need to tell him I'm not going to be live with him up until the new year. With me and Taryn, we just talk about life every Monday for maybe like an hour. It's just a simple like chat, a little broy chat. We just bro down and talk about life, my dating life, Taryn's life, and we just figure it all out. And yeah, I'm going to Texas tomorrow, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
You will.
And yeah, I feel like I will. And I need to like drown some more like NyQuil because I had a like Monday, I felt like a train hit me, reverse,
Yeah, I don't feel
parked
amazing
on me.
either.
Yeah, and I think it's because I was like outside, probably like Saturday night, without like anything, and my nose was like so cold for like an hour, like just with the jacket. And I think I got really sick.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be okay. La, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us here.
Maggie, where can people
Seriously.
find you?
People can find me on Instagram and TikTok at @MLMorgan_. I'm like going through Big Brother withdrawal. I miss it. Can you believe it? I like
Oh, do
want it
you?
back. I'm like, where is
Really?
it? I want it back. Yes,
I don't.
yes.
I'm kind of like doing okay for some reason.
I feel
I'm
like
like,
no, everybody is because we went through extreme emotions for 9 months. But I'm just crazy, and I only need a couple of weeks off Big Brother, and then I'm ready
and
to
then
dive
you're
back in.
back on it.
So
Big Brother
yeah,
Canada comes on in like March or sooner than that.
yeah. I mean, it'll be nice. Like
Yeah,
I'll take our our break and enjoy the Real Housewives. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks when we come back to talk again. I hope that you guys have been enjoying this format
of
where
course.
thank you, Tyler. We always love having you in the chat. We love your takes. Obviously, we're like talking with you throughout the podcast.
I froze.
Sorry.
I froze.
Me
Sorry,
too. I think we both did.
My AirPods docked out.
Oh, oh. Well, we hope that you all have an
Okay, you can
amazing
go.
holiday season. We hope you all have an amazing holiday season. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you've been enjoying the way that we've been formatting it this season. I know I really have been enjoying the fact that we get to come on talk about a couple episodes at a time that we've been live, being able to talk to you guys. Thanks for sticking in as we, navigate how to do this in this new way. And we will see you guys in the new year. Right, Jacob? We'll see you in the new year. I don't know if you can hear me.